Single mom, thank you. New member. Shalima, single mom. Karma. Laura, hello. Glad to see you here today, sweetie. Still not 100%, but wanted to say hi. Well, hello, hon. I'm glad you dropped in. Single mom is a new member. Jen, the link is at the top. Go ahead and grab it. We're waiting on Holly. I love you too, sweetie. Hello, Miss Mary. Janet B, Nana7. Hello. Hello, Miss Jenn. Cheryl. You all can hear me okay, right? Jen, you coming on up? I love you too, single mom. Short notice, but it wouldn't have been short notice if you'd answered the phone earlier today when I tried to get a hold of you. You just saw Charlie on RJ. Well, I didn't tell nobody I was coming on. As Jen said, it was short notice. Can you mod me back? I didn't know that you weren't modded, huh? Hang on a minute. Hey, Jen.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay. Single mom, I don't know why it keeps unmodding you. I promise you I'm not doing it.
Okay, now you see me, now you don't.
Was it some kind of game for you?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just playing. We're waiting on Holly. I was going to text her and tell her to come on, but
She's in here, I'm assuming, because single mom just said hi, or remain calm, said hi to her.
oh, well, come on up, Holly. It's at the link is at the top. If you go up there and grab it. I see her in here. Hang on, single mom. I'm modding you. I don't know why it keeps doing that. You know what else I need to do? There you go, Miss Holly. You're a mod too. Hello, Vibes. Here you go, Holly. In case you can't find it, there's the link, sweetie. What'd you do, Jen? Just stub your toe?
No, I was trying to situate my t-shirt that got stuck under my butt.
Oh. Hello, Miss Holly.
Hey.
Hi, Hal.
Hey, Jen. How are you doing? You went to the doctor today?
What, hon?
Did you say you went to the doctor today for your back?
Yeah, I got to see the back cracky doctor.
Yeah? You mean chiropractor?
Mm-hmm. Had to get stretched and pulled like taffy.
I need it. I've been on the heating pad all day. It's really
Girl,
depressing.
mine.
Hi, Tiger. Okie doke. All right, now, guys, we're going to still wait a few minutes and let everybody come in. Hello, Sunset. But, Robin's Egg, hello. Holly and I were talking earlier today when the new video came out with the court papers on it about the lawsuit. Has anybody heard anything about it?
Yeah, I'd like to know how many have heard anything about it.
Jen, had you heard anything about it before I told you?
No, ma'am.
Dana Nelson, hello. Glad to see you here, hon. A reward fund can be very productive in a case. Unfortunately, this case, yeah. I agree. It is, especially now. For the people who don't know, evidently what is going on is the Churchill Rescue Squad, and it's represented by the law firms of Mays and Coop, spelt the same way, by the way, is suing the defendants who happen to be, hang on one second, and I will tell you who the defendants are. The defendants are plaintiff is Churchill Rescue Squad Incorporated plaintiff versus Summerwells reward fund donors and interested parties Fiona O'Connor and Quiana Carlock, I guess that's how you pronounce it, and the Child Advocacy Center of the 3rd Judicial District. And this is being heard in the 3rd Judicial District Chancery Court for Hawkins County at Rogersville, Tennessee. And I can't quite make out when the date was when it was filed, but it was filed at 3:05. I can see that.
I think it was Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Hi, Kathy. How are you today, hon?
All that money that was raised when they did the marathons is in question or been used or?
Well, I don't know from what I can make out, and I meant to try to go over the whole thing, but I've been dealing with like 500 conversations all evening. But the one thing that I thought was interesting is section number 8, or the 8 comment, or whatever you want to call it. It says that the outpouring of support in regards to the child's disappearance led to the public's response from the community in the form of a desire to make donations to assist in the investigation, both of supplies and monies. I thought the reward fund, that the money was put there as a reward to be given to someone if they helped find Summer, not to supply the search team with stuff.
Yeah, that's news.
Yeah, that's number 8 in that lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, that it was supposed to be used to whoever found Summer or led to the finding of Summer.
Right. And I will not say from where I got this information, and this is alleged, this is not proven, okay? But it has been told to me that 35,000 of the 74,000 was, that's that 10,000 and the 25,000, which basically was just pledged but was not given to them. But that supposedly they spent 21,000 of the money on the tax system that they used to hunt for Summer.
Say that again, on the what system?
TAC. Hang on a second. I'm fixing to tell you what TAC is.
Okay.
Yeah, you still got the screenshots I sent you, or do I need to pull it back up?
No, I got it. Terminal Agency Coordinator, TAC, is a role required by the FBI, Criminal Justice Information Services. Security policy must be one for each agency that has access to the CJIS systems, whatever that means. That's what we found on it. Now, like I said, that was alleged. I don't know for a fact. I do know that there's somebody in here that could tell me if they would be willing to come up if they're interested, but if they're not, that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
So
this, I'm going to state the obvious. This is so screwed up. It's like I was telling Nana today on the phone that this is like Hawkins County's like opposite world. I mean, nothing makes any sense there. And it's maddening. The bottom line is that Churchill Rescue Squad stated from the beginning that the Child Advocacy Center would receive that money that was donated if the time ran out and Summer was not found. That's a fact. And now, with them doing this thing in court. They're trying to keep the Child Advocacy Center from being able to sue them. But they were promised that money. But the way they're going about it is to be protected from a lawsuit from the Child Advocacy Center. It makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to me. And remember, we were talking about things being backwards in Hawkins County.
Mm-hmm.
Here IB girl says Hawkins County is the upside down.
I swear it is. I swear
it
is. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, everything that's good is bad there, and everything that's bad there is good. It is so freaking messed up. Ugh, I'm sorry. I just lose it sometimes. I can't believe it. You know, also though, Nana, you had the list of people. It wasn't just the Child Advocacy Center listed as the defendants. It was Kiona Carlock. Okay, who is that?
That's Q
Q
Carlock.
Go ahead.
No, she is a YouTuber, a creator. I personally have never watched it, but she is a creator on YouTube. And then there's Fiona O'Connor.
Who's that?
That I do not know. And it says Summerwells Reward Fund donors and interested parties. So they're actually suing the people that donated the money. And anybody that has an interest in this case, or in the reward fund anyways.
Okay, I got a more technical term as far as TAC from somebody somewhat involved in law enforcement.
Okay.
TAC is short for tactical communications. TAC channels are so they can talk on the radio without clogging up the emergency call-in lines.
But I thought that all that stuff was donated by the companies that brought the boosters and all that stuff up there. Okay, guys, here's Stay Tiger. Well, Stay Tiger, if it'll let you pop up here. There we go. Well, you can keep reading, Jen. It's taking some time, evidently.
That was it. It was just really short, just a really quick text.
Huh. But like I was saying, I thought all that stuff was donated. The equipment and stuff that they brought up there so they could be able to communicate. Wasn't it?
I thought so.
Holly?
I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it.
No, when they found out that they didn't have any communications up there, like the phones and the walkie-talkies and all that stuff,
right?
And the companies brought all the extra equipment up there, all those trucks and stuff, and the extra towers.
Okay, I remember that.
Would that not be what they're talking about? What she just read?
Okay, stitching, bitching, and true crime says, yeah, she thought it was donated as well.
Oh, yeah, Tiger, you got to turn the extra off, whatever it was.
My bad. It's the only way I know how to use my mic on this. I'm trying to lower the feedback. It's the spatial sound. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, everybody, this is Stay Tiger.
Or if you can even hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
It's nice to put a face to the name.
Cool.
Okay,
I
so
just had to open my email quick.
Okay, so what do you know about the monies that were coming and going up there? Do you know anything?
What do I know about the money?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let me open my email. You guys can continue on talking. find
Okay.
the email that I have all the money stuff.
Somebody had a question for Vibes who said that Enchanted Life Path went in on them. Sunset, I believe what it means is that a ELP or Carl dug around to see when the scamathon was going on, when they were raising money, and how they did it. For example, I think Tiffany actually had her Cash App up when she was supposed to be raising money just for the reward fund. And she had her own Cash App up, which he found out, Carl said was illegal. So I think that's kind of answers the question as to how did Enchanted Life Path go basically
Yeah.
expose them for that.
Okay. But and that would explain why people were saying that Enchanted Life Path filed paperwork in the courts to hold the reward fund up until it can be sorted out. But that would not explain why Churchill Rescue is suing everybody involved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, best I could tell, I mean, I might be wrong, but best I could tell, they're seeking a declaratory judgment. I can't even say it. Declaratory judgment means the court freezes everything and keeps them from being able to be sued. So if the child advocacy center has every right to sue them, because it was told from the beginning that they would get the money at the end of the reward fund, expiring. So
Right.
they should be able to sue Churchill Rescue Squad. Well, they've already asked for this declaratory judgment, which would keep them from, they would be like a freeze on them being able to be sued.
Right. As far as is Jody Sue one of the scammers, I do not know. I did not follow the fundraiser thing, the marathon. I didn't follow it. Your YouTube is back on again, Tiger. Okay. Who wants to?
I followed the reward fund marathon briefly, and from what I saw, Q Carlock did show receipts of where they did put the money into Citius Bank.
Well, evidently, from what those court papers say, they recorded everything. I don't know if they videotaped it, but they audio taped all those donations and everything.
Yes. I mean, I love Q
Okay,
Carlock.
I found it, Miss Nana.
Okay. Can you tell us what you know about it?
That's better. Let's see here. So, they built a brand new jail in Hawkins County. I don't know how much that cost. They took $21,308 awarded to them through federal funds made available through the Department of Homeland Security Federal Emergency Management Agency under the Emergency Food and Shelter National Board Program. Hawkins County has been chosen to receive $21,308 to supplement emergency food and shelter programs in the county. Now, I find this to be very suspicious. There's a lot of stuff here going on. So, Hawkins County has been awarded federal funds to supplement. Okay, that's a link. Let's see. Kingsport City and counties in the U.S. state of Tennessee. Most of the cities in Sullivan County, as of the 2010 census, the population is 48,205 people. As of 2016, the estimated population was 52,806. There's 4,671 people in Rogersville.
Yeah, Rogersville.
And there's girls going missing there.
Right.
So I believe that would be as
you're cutting out, hun.
that from the Department of Homeland is how much for the $43,000 tax system, emergency tax system that they requested that got there twice as fast as it should have. It should have taken 24 hours for it to get there. Instead, it got there in 12 hours, which is incredible considering TEMA, the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, had on the scene, the first ones on the scene, within just a few hours. The fact that 21,000 and 21,000 lines up perfectly because they didn't actually end up $43,000 into the tax system. They only ended up paying 21,000 of it. So I don't know if they paid the other 2,000 back. My suspicion is that they took this Department of Homeland Security money and put it towards the tax system, and that they then paid that back with 1,000 from this.
Right.
That
Tim Coop
makes sense. It's basically just a giant county, state, federal Ponzi scheme.
Right. Tim Coop got demoted during search. EquiSearch talks about how bad sheriff treated him and the searchers. Right.
Right.
So what do you?
But you see, Tim Coop actually got his numbers mixed up. He told us he had 100 to 180 professionally trained experts out there searching during the first 2 weeks. That's what he told us. But then when he stood up in front of the commissioners on board, he said something more like over 1,900 people out there searching. So I don't know if the other, 1,800 people or 1,700 plus people were residents, or I have no idea.
As far as I know, no residents were allowed to
us
search.
did not match the numbers he told them.
Jennifer, Holly, have y'all heard of any residents being able to search at all?
I've always heard that they told people to search their own properties, but not to go out searching elsewhere.
Holly?
Because then it's, a risk to them that
Bingo.
they didn't want anybody else getting hurt, because then therefore they become a liability.
Yeah, which didn't count in the Carly Trent case.
Right, because they
Everybody
couldn't
was
keep
welcome to
track of
search
them all.
there. Yeah,
Right.
it was the same thing though. I mean, if they could keep track of them with Carly Trent and having all these citizens out on these back roads and searching everywhere, they could have done the same for Summer too. It's not like anything changed between the two that would make a difference. It should have been exactly the same as Carly. Why wasn't it? That's because Summer's case, everything's screwed up. Nothing's normal.
No, I don't know about you all, but I have about the same population count in my village as Rogersville does theirs, about 40 people. I don't know about you all, but not one single kid has ever gone missing out of my town, ever. I don't know how there's so many missing out of theirs under very suspicious circumstances, if you ask me.
Right.
I know maybe in the 10 years that we
want
lived
to
here.
say names. Like, it's your YouTube channel, and I don't want to say names of other YouTube content creators, but someone did tell me, told us on YouTube, that not Donnie Lawson's nephew, according to Jeff Bobo, who found Carly Trent. It was the Tennessee Highway Patrol's FLIR helicopter.
Right. I've heard
Which
that.
is not something you'll find on any of the articles. This same individual, who I tried to call today, and his phone number was busy, so I will try to call him, but the same individual also said that it was D&D Printing out of Kingsport that Miss Lane got the flyers from. Now, I find this highly suspicious because D&D closes on 5 o'clock on Tuesdays. So how does Miss Brown have a video put out? I'm still trying to confirm this, but it is almost without a doubt on the 15th of June, 2021. How did Miss Brown get the original outdated picture flyer? And we should not call Miss Lane out on the picture being outdated.
Right. Anybody? Any thoughts?
Oh, I got some thoughts behind it. Trust that. And you already know what they are.
Yeah.
I think
I
we
don't like
probably all have thoughts.
Holly, are you still with us?
Yeah. We're having a really bad storm, so I don't know if it's going to knock my internet out or not. Just thought I'd tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's rolling over on this way, too.
Yeah, we're getting it too, but it just hasn't started yet.
Well, guys, it's like 90-something degrees
Yeah.
outside. Sun's shining here, so.
Yep. Well, it's
I'm
90
good.
plus here too, but we're in for some more bad storms again tonight.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, it's muggy
Well,
over here.
Is anybody got any thoughts on what's going on today? Holly?
You mean with Jody Sue?
Yep.
Well, I think, I don't know. I mean, she was so guarded with what she said last night that, you know, none of her complaining, you know, she's complaining about Andy going back on YouTube and telling stuff that, you know, obviously pisses her off to no end. And then she just kind of goes, well, whatever. It's not going to matter once what happens tomorrow happens. You know, I made a call, like, you know, like she has all that power. And that's great. I want something to happen. If it comes down to it needing to be Jody Sue fighting Andy for them to basically incriminate each other, and that's how this gets solved, I'm good with that. Because personally, I think both of them are garbage.
Right.
I think they both need to be sitting in jail with Don and Candace whenever they manage to drag Candace down.
Now, something else interesting I found, if you go to the article written by Jeff Bobo on the timesnews.net about Kelly Lynn Baker, about the spider who was caught on the meth charges by a tipster who I highly suspect was actually Miss Brown. You'll see that if you scroll down, there's actually people, more than one, if you continue going through the Rogersville review of the months around about that time of 2020, multiple people had been caught with fake $50 bills and fake $100 bills. Well, do you know who takes care of fake counterfeit money? The Secret Service.
Oh.
And only the Secret Service.
Okay, hang on a second. IB Girl says we need to find a way to rid this town of this sickness. Something nefarious is going on. Ellie isn't going to do it. No one will go down. Ronnie made sure there is no evidence.
I'll just jump in and say,
An interesting.
Hey, Tiger, hang on a second. Go ahead, Holly.
Whenever I found out that she was going to be going, that somebody knew that she was going to be going down to Hawkins County and talking to Lawson, I mean, hey, that's good. I want something to happen, but I don't trust that sheriff, not for even a second. And I can totally see him trying to cross his T's and dot his I's to look like he's doing what everybody would think he would do, to call her out and ask her questions. But behind closed doors, what is he really asking her? Is he asking her the hard questions, or is he giving her information like, you need to shut the hell up or we're all going down for this?
Right.
I want her questioned by the FBI. At this point, I'm beyond even trusting TBI. And people can think I'm crazy for that, but there's a reason it's been over a year and nothing's been done, and they're no further along than they are. There's something very wrong.
I absolutely agree with you, Hal.
Thanks.
You were saying, Tiger?
Oh, an interesting thing about and Ronnie, of course, is if you go to the same article that Mr. Bobo write about nepotism in the Hawkins County Sheriff's Agency, that Sheriff Ronnie Lawson tried to defend himself on by saying it's a small town, we're all related, is actually that, well, first off, Gary Lawson, I don't know how they're related, but they are, is a DEA agent, former DEA agent, who had been kicked off the force, most likely due to his charges for abuse and neglect on a child, and started working at Walmart, which is interesting because he might know Allie then. But also that, done with that. Mr. Bobo actually gives Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's entire work history, kind of. He was a SWAT leader. He was also a narc leader for over a decade. So I'd like to ask Mr. Lawson himself, how is it that in that same article, he's basically, you have two family members on the force, one of them who found Carly Trent on his own property, where the white van was actually parked like right out in the open, but then he didn't find him. According to somebody else, it was the helicopter. But also, with a history like that, how is it in another article, Mr. Bobo is taking your own words and saying that drugs are not just on the rise, but doubling in your county? You are a SWAT leader and a narc leader for over a decade each. I don't understand how that's possible unless you're intentionally slipping on the job.
Right. That is a good question. I hadn't thought about that.
What
Go ahead.
I ever read that made me question Mr. Lawson is that he himself handpicked a agent to go into the FBI who passed flying colors, so is now currently, I would assume, still working within the FBI as an active agent out of the 35,000 agents nationwide who get paid $73,000 annual average salary.
That the one that works that you were just speaking of, that's actually Gary. The one that found or supposedly found Carly Trent is Donnie. They're all Lawsons, but the one that found her is
right. But
Donnie
there is
Lawson.
another Gary actually. There is another Gary actually who works within the FBI.
Yeah, that's
not
his
the
cousin.
DEA.
So
his
then there's
cousin.
four
That's
Lawsons.
interesting.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you know this.
Craziness.
Holly and Jennifer know this. The indictments back, 10, 11 years ago, Holly, whatever it was, there was like 7 of those people that were indicted that their last names were all Lawson also.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. It was a
that
big family roundup.
Wasn't
What,
that
Holly?
2013 when all
Yes.
those arrests were made?
Yes.
And Ronnie Lawson took office in 2010, and I just thought it was interesting how all these people went down in the very first part of his being sheriff, and now there's more drugs than ever. And he was supposed to.
He has to be eyeballs deep in everything if nobody runs against him.
Exactly, and I think he's making money off allowing this drug problem to go on. And he's turning his head, and certain people get protected and certain people don't.
But Ben Hill is not a drug
And do you know
corridor,
what that's
right?
called?
Yeah, right.
What's that called?
That's called RICO. Racketeering and criminal organization. RICO
That's
case.
what Holly, you remember the woman I was telling you about that sent me the email with
Uh-huh.
a name? That's what she was talking about. They're involved with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Single
And that
mom.
attaches itself to the 2017 opioid lawsuit.
Right. Single mom used to live in Kingsport or Hawkins County. And she just said, and there's a Brad Lawson on the Kingsport Police Department. Don't know if they are related. I don't know if it's Brad or Bobby, but I do know that was it Bobby Lawson that showed up at Allie's when the biker gang come down to pick up Hunter, and it was Bobby Lawson is the one that Allie and Sherry knew so well,
Oh, okay.
and they were calling him by their first name. It wasn't Ronnie Lawson.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Now, an interesting thing about the 2017 opioid lawsuit is they weren't going to go through with it. There was one of the commissioners, I'm not sure which one, who kept saying no, 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 no. And then within 1 month, it became, yes, we will do it. On the advice of Crystal Jesse from Jesse and Jesse Law Firm. But they needed new evidence because they weren't going with it on her advice. Also, they weren't going through with it because they didn't have enough evidence. But suddenly, within 1 month, they suddenly had enough evidence, and here we go. We're going through with it. And the commissioner who kept saying no was an absentee.
Right. Where's Summer 1-800-TBI finds says Ronnie Lawson also handpicked a detective at the TBI. What kind of power does he have? Jeez, guys.
I don't know. There's something up. There's something up with that. But let me tell everybody in case they don't know. Like, it's really important that I want everybody to know this information about Hawkins County. If you may already know it, but like I said, knowledge is power, and I want everybody to know Hawkins County got $11 million from the federal government for COVID relief. They received that 2 years ago. They first set up a committee of citizens to decide where the money would be spent. And after they had it for a little while, Ronnie Lawson took it away from them, the decision, because he said they were taking too long. And he has now given it to some organization out of Nashville that is supposed to help them decide where the money needs to go. But ever since he moved it to them in March of this year, there's not been one other peep about what's going on with that $11 million.
Hi, Marianne.
Very interesting. Now, Miss Sense, would that fall under possibly the emergency management agency to decide how to manage that money?
No, based on what I read, it's completely up to the people of Hawkins County how to spend it, but it's meant to be COVID relief. So, like, I checked into it. Other counties that received that money, they basically gave every citizen a check to help them, just cash money from the county, saying here's COVID relief to try to help people who are in need because of the virus. But yeah, it's not happening with old Lawson. He's got it with some organization, and the whole thing is so fishy. It's $11 million. I feel sure he's probably trying to figure out how he can keep it.
Yeah, I be girl. That's funny. Ding, ding, ding. Ronnie, the Ron father of Hawkins County.
Perfect.
Now, Miss Sense, they do actually have their own emergency management agency in Hawkins County. We see them in the first days before the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency gets there. So I would assume it falls on them then to decide how to dole out that money.
No, there was nothing in all the news articles I researched and read that said anything about them. I mean, it sounds like it would make some kind of sense, but I'm just saying, based on the news and the articles I read, they were not mentioned at all.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's a lot of money, and I'm sure well, we now know the numbers of how many people are in Hawkins County and Rogersville. So you could actually do the math to see if everybody got equal, if the $11 million adds up.
Yeah. But I mean, it was COVID relief. So all the other counties that's gotten it, they've already given it back to their citizens. And yet Rogersville, with as much poverty that is there, I'm sure people needed the help more than ever, but they'll probably never see a dime of that money.
Right, because if you actually sit through their last budget meeting, they're sitting there talking about getting creative by trying to, and this was their last budget meeting, getting creative by trying to get more COVID money. I didn't even know about that, by trying to get more COVID money to cover themselves, because they're bankrupt yet again. They're actually $2 million in debt in Hawkins County right now.
Right. Yep.
Thank you guys for taking over. I had to leave for a minute. Y'all didn't even know I was gone.
I didn't.
I had to leave for a quick second too, and nobody knew I was gone except you, because I texted you. Well, because I texted you.
No, it's okay, guys. I knew you guys were discussing that, so I knew it was okay to go.
Miss Nana, I'd like to make a point to your last video where you were talking about the polygraph tests. Did you know that there's only 18 individual people in all of the state of Tennessee who are certified to even give polygraph tests?
No, I didn't know that, but I have met one of them twice. As he strapped me to the chair. As he strapped me to the chair twice.
Really?
Yeah. 2 different cases.
I'd like to take one myself, actually, just to see what it's like.
Oh, they say there's ways that you can beat it.
Yeah, just ask Candace, be on drugs.
Well, seriously, they will tell you, plain and simple. They ask you, are you on any kind of medication, especially like antidepressants, any mind-altering drugs? If you are prescribed mind-altering drugs of any type, you are not allowed to go ahead and, not allowed, but they don't even bother giving it to you.
Right.
Would mine be considered mind-altering?
I'm not, probably not. It's like nerve pills for seizures, anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If we go back to WJHL in the early days, they actually said that WJHL said that Candace passed her polygraph on the 23rd.
Hang on one second. What, Jen?
I think I was saying that if that's the case, then I wouldn't be able to take it because I do have to take that seizure medication.
Right. And as far as Candace passing her polygraph, I know in school that if you don't pass your spelling test, you get to take it once, maybe twice till you pass it. I have in my lifetime ever heard tell of you take a polygraph until you pass it.
In Hawkins County, yes, of course.
But that's the thing, guys, and I can't say how I know this. If everything goes the way it's supposed to tomorrow, then Friday you all will find out. But I can say they did not. Everybody thinks that Candace and Don they got in their car and they drove down to Sheriff Lawson's office and they took their little polygraph and that TBI administered it. That did not happen.
No,
they were taken to a different county, to a more secure facility, and it was not TBI that gave them the test.
I would assume it was either the Tennessee Highway Patrol or the FBI.
What, Holly?
Do you know that the private investigators, Chris and Trudy, the ones that work for the Wells, had actually, it was in the news and a fact that they were looking to pay for Don and Candace to be privately polygraphed.
You can do that.
Yeah, well, they did it. They wanted to do it. They ended up not going through with it. But my question is, if Dawn and Candace passed, why would Chris and Trudy want to get another person to test them and try again?
Well, more than likely because it was before Candace took it the third time. If y'all will remember the first two times, she couldn't take it the first time because she was so upset because remember the cops supposedly threw her in the cruiser and acted like she was committing some kind of crime, and it had her so upset and crying that she could not take the test by the time she got there.
What a load of bullshit.
Well, it might be true, but the second time, whatever reason, she was too upset or it came back inconclusive, I believe is what it said. And when they asked her to come in and take the test the third time, Dawn told her, absolutely not. You're not going to go down there and do it a third time. So that might have been the time frame that you're talking about where they were wanting to try to pull in a private one. And the thing is you can hire your own private person to do the polygraph test. But then when it comes time to go to court with it, it can be admissible in court, but all parties have to agree to accept whatever comes out about it.
Right.
You know who else did that and paid their own private person to do a polygraph was Letitia Stout when it came to Gannon. And she got to pick the questions that they asked her, and she tried to have that submitted as evidence.
Oh my gosh.
And they laughed at her. In her Google search, it pulled up exactly what I think that I think with Letitia Stout that she just grabbed somebody off the internet that offered polygraphs and they were not a legit company.
Right, because there's actually a board to certify polygraphists.
Right.
If I've thought about this too, if Dawn and Candace had somebody come and take Summer off the property, say they were selling her or something, and they truly just basically acted out the abduction where they turned their heads, somebody came and got her and left with her, then if they sit down to take a polygraph and they say, do you know where she is, or do you know who she's with, or whatever, and they say no, that would be the truth. And I think Dawn is just criminally minded enough to think of that.
Do any of you intelligent young ladies know if Miss Harer was polygraphed?
They say she was and that she passed. Some creators have said that. I've never found factual information, about her taking the test or passing the test.
I remember donwells saying that she took it and she passed it, but of course, according to him, everybody passed it except for the law.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because I've never heard that from any officials.
That,
what, Jenn?
I remember Don saying that, when they were drug tested, that he was clean and the only thing they found in Candace was pot.
Right.
Don't laugh too hard, Holly. He was completely clean.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, if he took somebody else's urine in there.
Mm.
I'd like Mr. Lawson to take a polygraph, to be quite honest.
Sorry, hon, we don't discuss the boys. Charlie, if you're still here, can you take care of that?
Jarvis.
Yeah.
I mean, when Mr. Lawson says everybody's a person of interest, I suspect he's talking about himself as well. I mean, he is part of everybody, correct?
Well, if y'all will look at the video I put out today, there was a little part of the slideshow. It talks about who a suspect is, and it plainly says, if law enforcement comes and asks you questions in a criminal investigation or about a criminal investigation, you better have a suspect.
Now, I suspect that Mr. Lawson is actually not a person to play word games. He means what he says, and at one point, he actually did switch up from person of interest to suspect, and then he switched back to persons of interest again. But yeah, when Miss Bly, Candace Bly, gave that paper to Miss Ansley Daniels and said that she is not lawyered up, and then immediately afterwards, during the same day, they asked Mr. Lawson the same question basically, and he said they have an attorney, and boy did his voice sound like he got choked. And he does not say Don and Candace, he doesn't say the family, he says they have an attorney. So I'm kind of wondering who they are. But also there is a strong difference between lawyer and attorney. And then they immediately went back to candusharer, and she just repeated the same thing that candusbly said. She was not answering for herself. She was answering for her daughter.
How many counts? Sorry to switch this, guys. Alicia, how many counts did she get charged with? Allie, Sherry's mom, guys, went to court today. A long time.
What did she end up in court for?
It was over the child neglect or child endangerment, or what was it, Alicia? She was only there.
Oh, she got 2 counts, didn't she?
Oh, I don't know.
8.
Six.
2 counts for abuse over the
8
age
years
of 8.
per count, 6 counts.
6 counts. What was it
6?
about,
They
actually?
bumped it up.
What child did she abuse? Child abuse. Sherry is Allie's mom, Sunset. And it was Sherry that went to court. Child abuse and neglect.
What's going on with Allie's mom? Does anybody know? Like her real mom? I've never heard very much about her.
Sherry is her real mom.
Oh, I thought that was her grandma.
No, Cassandra is her grandmother. Great grandmother.
Ah, okay. I had it backwards.
Now, Sherry is the one that went to court today. Her mom is the one that went to court today. All right. Holly, did you get cut out or?
She did say she was having storms. She might have dropped out.
Right. 23 states allow polygraphs in the courtroom. Sherry is mom. Cassandra is grandmother for Allie. Right. Lord, that woman ain't never, just like Grandus is never going to live down the name Grandus. Great grandmother is not going to ever live that down. Okay, this is the part I want to know about. Okay. It says she had custody of Allie's sister's kids and she abused them bad, I guess. Okay, now the little girl that starts with the M that they were talking about when JLR and them was interviewing them, they said that's the little girl that came back from Don and Candace's and said that Don had touched her. Now, they also had made a statement before that and on that same day that little girl was in the hospital and I'm assuming it was a mental hospital, then that she would probably never come out. Now, would that be from what they supposedly said Don did to her or what Sherry did to her? Common sense, I see that. Please be safe. Hey, just popped on at work. Listen through the LD roads. Okay, good. Glad to have you here, Suzette. You better be good today.
Stay safe, Holly.
Is that the little girl Dawn touched, Sherry's granddaughter? Yes. Well, that's allegedly. Allegedly, that's what they told. Anyways. I'm glad to see that you're back, Miss Christola.
Thank you.
You're good,
You
huh?
ladies have been a pleasure, by the way.
Well, thank you. You've been very informative.
I try.
You wouldn't want to bring anything else up today that we talked about, would you? I mean, don't feel that you have to.
Whatever you want. If you got something on your mind, I'll try to help you.
Well, when you were calling to check on that person, I just didn't know if you wanted to discuss that or not.
I mean, I don't want to mislead anybody. If it's speculation, I'll try to make sure to let you know it's speculation theory. If it's fact, I'll let you know, and I'll link it to you, whatever you need.
Well, did you make a phone call today to check on someone who was called into the sheriff's department? Miss Jody Sue,
I did not
right?
make any phone calls to law enforcement. No.
No. I said they got called into the sheriff's department. So you
yes,
tried to
I
get
did.
you tried to get a hold of her.
Yes, I did. I made a number of different phone calls regarding that.
And did you ever speak to anybody?
Yes, I did. I don't want to name names if you don't want me to.
Oh no, that's fine. It's fine with me.
Okay,
I don't bash anybody, and I don't do minor children. That's the only thing I don't do.
I did indeed speak to Miss Polly Bernard, and she was a pleasure. She was very nice. She listened to me. She understood why I was calling, and I did get a call back from George Andrew Bernard, who was also very nice, who also did listen to me. And I think both of them understood quite well why I was calling, though both were very upset about me calling. I want them to know that if they ever listen to this or they hear this, I meant the best. I have Miss Brown's best interest at heart. I was only concerned.
So what did Andy say, or how did he sound to you?
As I said, well, I wasn't expecting Andy to call me back. I didn't know that the phone number connected to him, that he was there at that residence. I will not be giving the actual phone number
Right,
or residence,
no.
but I didn't know that he was there at that residence, or the lady that was with him, who I suspect I know who it is. I didn't get a name, but yeah, I didn't know that they were there, but him calling me back kind of tells me that Ollie pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, somebody from up there called and was concerned about Miss Brown, like concerned for her safety. Call him back and see what he wanted." I suspect that's how the conversation went down. And even though he was very upset, he did listen and he did question, and I answered as many of his questions as thoroughly as I could. Both phone calls were very brief, and he was still the fact that he listened tells me, hey, that's a nice guy right there. And his voice sounded like it broke just a little bit when he asked me why it was any of my concern. So I think he was a bit concerned himself. I think Andy is actually a very good guy. I really do. I think Miss Brown's actually a very good lady. I think Miss Brown is a little deceptive in the way she answers things, but her answers, it's kind of like Ronnie. He is telling the truth technically, and so is she when they answer questions, but they know when they're being misleading. So they're being deceptive, and they know when they're obfuscating information as well, which is deceptive to me personally.
Right.
But I think they're both very good people. I really do.
Well, actually, I
well,
wouldn't. I wouldn't know if they are or not. I've never met either one of them. I know what my opinions are. And the plain and simple fact is, one or the two of them both need to be in jail. If she's telling the truth, Andy needs to go to jail, and so does Candace. If she's not telling the truth, Jody Sue needs to go to jail for impeding an investigation.
Do you remember the phone call that Andy had with another person?
Yeah.
Another YouTube creator?
Yeah.
He did indeed admit that he sold weed. Now, if you consider that weed could kind of relax you, in other words, sedate you, you could consider that selling weed, selling drugs, in other words, is the same as selling a sedative.
Right.
And now, if we remember what, who was it that said that? Miss Hill said about the CPS case, that someone was called about weed being smoked and drinks being drank. That's exactly what Don said about someone else. So I kind of connect those things in my mind as, okay, maybe somehow, I'm not saying he sold it directly to them. I'm saying somehow, and this is just theory, speculation, I connect those things in my mind as possibly he sold weed to somebody that it transferred hands, and
Right.
then they got the sedative, That's the kind of word games we're talking about here.
Right. First name. Who are you talking about as covering for them?
Covering for them?
Yeah. Everybody here has their own opinion. They have a right to their own opinion, and nobody's going to get bashed for having an opinion. Just because we don't all agree with it doesn't mean that it's wrong. So,
what do you mean by covering for them?
Nobody's own opinion is ever wrong.
I don't know what they're meaning by it. That's what I was asking. What did they mean? Who are they even talking to? I didn't know if they were talking to you or who.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading the chat. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I should be.
No, the chat. It says the person's name is first name. It says, who is this fool? Why is he covering for them? Christola, can you please take care of this for me?
Well, I wouldn't say covering. I'll answer that one personally. I wouldn't say covering because Andy admitted to selling weed. I mean, he just straight up admitted it. And in Tennessee, that's still pretty hardly, So I personally think, hey, you admitted it, dog. You should take the appropriate punishment for that. But I come from another state. I personally think that it's really not that bad. It's not worth, doing time over or anything. I think he's a good guy. That's just my personal opinion. I think he cares about Miss Brown still. I don't know any of that for a fact, but I do know that he did admit it. So whatever the punishment in that state is for that, take it.
Right. Okay, guys, everybody has their opinion. Y'all do not have to agree with him. This is just his opinion. And he came up to give us some of his insight as far as the money and stuff goes.
Yeah, nobody's own opinion is wrong.
Right.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and not everybody has to agree with the other person. And when another voice can be offered with another opinion, it gives all of us a different way to look at things and take other things into consideration.
Exactly.
So
Thank
I feel
you.
like anytime that we have a guest, they need to be shown the same appreciation that you or I would be shown.
And if anybody in chat doesn't agree with me, that's absolutely fine. I respect all the people in chat the same. I give the same amount of criticism as I do consideration.
Oh, trust me, he does. This man has wrote me several books. Several.
Sorry.
No, I enjoyed the it's very interesting and very wise reading, trust me.
And Miss Nana, you're an awesome person. I really do appreciate talking to you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Robin's
talking to you.
Egg says, thank you to him. I appreciate hearing other views and info.
Exactly. And I appreciate him coming on here. I don't know. I don't think have you ever been on panel before?
I tried to get up on one other YouTuber's panel once. I doxed myself, so I don't. As far as this doxing stuff, I do not care about giving out my name. That means nothing to me. All my info is public.
Right. Well, anyways, the plain and simple
But my
fact
mic
is we
wasn't
appreciate
working.
it.
I couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm still new to all this, so.
And I appreciate you coming up on panel. And
Also, I
giving us your
see
insight.
somebody in here on the chat. I just reading it again. Cosmic Dreamer asking about Mr. Mullins. I have
Dreamer.
talked to him. We talked a decent amount, actually.
Okay, I'm seeing a whole bunch of people in chat asking, and instead of me typing it out every time, for anybody that wants to know, this is our regular in chat Stay Tiger.
Oh, hang on a second. There you go. Sorry, guys.
Hi,
That's
guys.
Stay Tiger. When I put up a comment, it takes away our names so they couldn't see what your name was.
Well, I think I've had like 5 people in chat ask, so instead of just typing it out every time.
Right. Sorry
Not
about
that I
that.
mind typing it out, but I think that would be easier.
Miss Dana Nelson is asking for my name, so I don't know if you mind. I don't mind giving it out.
I don't mind you giving it out if you do not mind, but please do not tomorrow come back and say, sorry, can you take that back out of your live? I've had that happen.
Oh, no. All my info all my info except my friends and my family list, which stays private for good reason. I'm not connected to anybody in this case personally through relations like blood relations or family relations or anything like that, even loosely. I don't mind giving out my name. It is David Sost, SOST. I don't care about doxing. I never have. If people are mean, trust me, I got thick skin and a thick head. So
there you go, Dana. Dana Nelson, who says Stay Tiger is not a name. Well, neither is Nana's Angels or No Filter or Remain Calm. I mean, come on. Most people
my
on
philosophy
YouTube do not
is you
use
can't
their
dox
real name.
me if I don't mind being doxed.
Exactly. That's true.
Cassie, how
You're
is it
welcome,
that
Miss
he's
Nelson.
involved? He is only involved with opinions and insight, not involved in the case whatsoever, like he just said, just his opinions and his insight into the case, and quite knowledgeable about it as well.
Yeah, he's very
All
knowledgeable.
the information I have, for the most part, is all just public information. You'll find articles, YouTube videos, anything I say that is a fact can just be traced just like that online.
But you put it together so much more eloquently than I could.
Oh,
Like,
you
It
just,
took a year.
I don't have the brain capacity to sit there for hours upon hours and piece all of it together.
let me tell you something. This man here has took those, you know, the video that has the 99 photos on it of the Wells property. You all have seen it
Absolutely.
online. He has took that video and he has pinpointed 40 different photos and pointed out and specifically explained or asked questions about those specific photos, gives timestamps, everything to where to find these photos.
Questions I have actually asked the TBI themselves,
right.
or at least a few.
So he is very knowledgeable. We've been talking for a few days, and I offered for him to come up on panel because I appreciate the insight that he has on the case.
Can I ask Miss Lara Croft, great name, what BBE is? I don't know if anybody knows. She's telling me to read it.
Yeah,
Is that
BB
person?
just a chat member or a chat sub.
Hang on. Right here.
Yeah, what
Okay, I
specifically
found it.
BB stands for, I don't know.
So I watched live on another channel months ago, and 5 people of the panel said Jody Sue and Andy were selling drugs. I think that's why Jody Sue was out and about the hours of night before summer got gone. Okay.
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
I kind of always suspected that's what she was doing out and about later at night and creeping through the woods and whatnot.
An interesting thing I seen on Miss Brown's charges, the last charges that the second charge that Andy caught the exact same charges for, like identical charges, was that Miss Brown got the manufacturing dropped. Andy did not.
Right. Hey, Tiger, hang on one second. Let's try to clear this up. It says, Aries Fire says, may I ask if he is saying he sees nothing wrong with giving weed to minors? I'm not sure I heard him correctly. I don't think you heard him correctly either, because what he said
No, I have a problem with that. I have a very big problem with that.
Yeah, what he was saying is that the weed could have been considered the sedative, and he was just saying that they were acknowledging they sell weed. They didn't acknowledge that they sold drugs.
Right.
The
it's
weed
that
could be used.
that Andy could have sold weed or given weed to somebody like Don, and I'm not saying he did to Don specifically. I'm saying that he could have, and that it could have transferred hands, or it could have been set on a table and kids came in and got it. I have a problem with actually giving it or selling it to minors. That is a huge issue. Any kind of drugs.
And actually, what Jody Sue said was that Andy was selling the marijuana to Candace and to the kids, but he was selling it to the kids and he was selling it to Candace to give to the kids, is what was said. And that's basically what Tiger's saying, is that he could have sold it to Candace and Candace handed it off to the kids.
I feel like Fred Hill actually plays an interesting part in that too, considering I believe I remember correctly Miss Brown saying that Andy sold weed and pills of some sort to Don in Fred's driveway. I believe I remember a comment, I don't remember who it came from, that they were doing other heavier drugs in his driveway. And Fred's actually said some interesting things as well, like the KKK pop-up meets. Sorry if I'm not allowed to say the name of that group.
No, it's okay. They still meet on the courthouse lawn here in my town.
Now, I suspect that this is actually at least half a lie, but he said on the 15th, Andy, Paul, and Andy Bernard actually were at one of those meets on the 15th, and that money was exchanged for some reason. He didn't explain why, just that Mr. Bernard pulled money out of his pocket and gave it to Don, or maybe it was, I think it was Andy gave it to Don and not Don gave it to Andy. I'd have to check again, but on the 15th, that the timing of that just doesn't sound right. Like, there couldn't have been enough time unless that was some like 5-10 minute meeting or something. I don't know about this Andy Paul. I don't know where he lives, if he exists, but
I think
that
it's
doesn't
Anthony
sound
Paul.
completely right.
Right. Anthony Paul, and that's actually a friend of Marlena's.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Fred was talking about. That Marlena and Anthony Paul was up there.
Gotcha. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Well, since how you, Jen, if you don't mind, do you care if I ask him one more thing?
I don't care, hun.
Okay. Seeing how you have all this knowledge, and trust me, guys, he has way more knowledge than what he's just said. What is your take on Marlena? And no, we can't say any children's names.
I don't know much about Marlena. I suspect that her name has been kept out of this. I heard it came up very early on, her name, but then I never personally heard it until pretty late in. And I've been following this case since day 2 when the Amber Alert came out. I suspect her name's been kept out of this for very good reason, and that she is protecting her loved ones, and that to me proves good intention. I know that I
she's
seen
willing
a
to
clip
sell her.
the other day
She's willing
where
to
she
sell
was
her
actually
story.
being.
She's willing to sell her side of the story to a
That
YouTuber.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, I do know. She offered it to me.
Oh.
And then threatened me with her uncle, John Pruitt, lead detective on the case, if I didn't keep her name off my channel.
I've actually talked to Mr. Pruitt just the other day. Me and him, we're going to talk again. Believe that.
Well, please ask him if Marlena is really his niece.
I will. I will attempt to. Didn't actually let me get even halfway through my original question before he wrote all this information off as secondhand information that I got from YouTube. But at least half the info is coming straight from the people's mouths, which is firsthand information. So,
right. Hey, buddy, you wanting to come up?
well,
You know
I
you're
am
always
going to
welcome.
hop off.
You don't have to. You're good.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
unless you're wanting to leave.
Right. Not particularly. I'm not up to anything right now.
John might actually have some questions he would like to ask you.
Oh, John, I love your channel, bro. You're freaking hilarious.
Hey, IB girl has a question for Stay Tiger.
Okay, well, I'm going up there. Where's it at?
You want me to just read it for you?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, go ahead and read it.
Here you go.
Read it.
Thanks
Jen.
for your info, but what is Panju?
Oh, I thought you were telling him to read it.
Thanks for the info, Bull.
Now, Mr. Hiltz is very, very interesting. I actually don't live too very far away from him. I've never spoken to him. I don't know very much about him. What is his connection there? Well, we know that he was married to, had a kid with anyway, with Allie, and he actually has the son's name tattooed on his arm, which is interesting. Since Allie is connected to not 125, but 110, I would say that they must know each other through that. Allie is the connection there, I would assume. I think Miss Brown probably knows Allie. So
No, what they're asking is because Andrew was supposed to be going and staying during the vigil. Andrew was supposed to be going and staying at Andy's old house or Jody Sue's old house at 125 Ben Hill Road. So, do you have a clue what the connection? Yeah, did you know what the connection was? That's what we were asking.
I don't entirely know. I will dig a bit farther into that. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'll just call Andy or Mr. Hiltz and see.
All right. Well, he should be popping up in chat every time you say his name. He pops up in the chat. So
Usually, yes.
Yeah, like Beetlejuice.
Voodoo doll out. Yeah.
Andrew, yeah. You say his name in the chat and he pops up. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like I actually follow your chat room when I'm not up on panel. I follow your chat room pretty closely all the time, and I don't. Ever since his original YouTube channel got taken down, I don't know what he goes by.
He's back on Andrew Hiltz. That's his channel. He got it back.
And we try not to mention his name in chat because then he does pop up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to talk to him. I mean, I very civilly, I'd love to just ask him a couple questions. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure I would love to ask him a few questions.
I only have 2 questions for him if I ever run into him.
What's that?
One would be, why did you leave New York and come to Tennessee when there is nothing stable, and then turn around and immediately leave? And 2, where is Summer?
How would he know?
Questions I'd like to ask him.
What?
1, why do you have a Pokemon tattooed to your arm? You got a Charmander tattooed to your arm right next to your son's name. That's interesting.
Hey, I'd get a Pikachu.
And 2, I can't find this, but I swear I know I heard it. When you said, Andrew, Mr. Hiltz, that you were moving into your apartment not too far from me, you said that Hunter was... sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
You said that your son was there, and you also said that little Miss Summer was there running around the yard, and that was only possible because Don and Candace, Miss Bly, and Mr. Wells had been up here, and I'm kind of wondering, based on the timing of that, how that was possible.
So when was that?
I think he said maybe about like a month or 2 after he left, like very, very shortly after he supposedly left their house at 110. Because he moved into the new apartment pretty quickly afterwards.
Right, he was living with his sister. I sympathize with him. I would move into an apartment very quickly too.
Absolutely. But I'm kind of wondering, especially since Summer was there, I'm kind of wondering why was Don and Candace up here?
Well, they
What brought 'em up?
probably. Well, I don't know. She is friends with Allie's. Okay, Allie's youngest daughter. Her grandparents live in New York, and evidently, Randy Clark is his name, Senior. He visits Allie and them a lot here in Tennessee, but evidently they're friends, and that's the only connection I can. Because while Dawn was gone to Utah, Randy Clark was trying to get Candace to move to New York. I mean, I have, text messages where he was asking her to move to New York. So maybe they were checking on places to live.
Interesting. I didn't follow him very much. His life wasn't very interesting to me, but when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, I got to go back and find that again." Hold on, I know he said that, and I just could never find it again.
What do you mean, John? Andrew is off. Like his channel is off again? Sorry, I don't mean to get quiet. I was just reading. Yeah, see, she was being asked to go to New York. Yes. I've tried to make the connection other than that. Now, the youngest girl's dad, Randy Clark Jr., he lives in Georgia, and he's not friends with anybody but Allie on Facebook. But now Randy Clark Sr. is friends with David Bush, which allegedly he owns the cemetery down there at the bottom of Ben Hill. He is an advocate for missing children all over Facebook. They are friends with Candace. They're all friends together. I've got a whole list of them. But I put a video out about it.
One person
I think it's
really
strange.
like to talk to is Mr. Dotson. I want to know where he went and why.
He converted back to the Baptist belief, and he married some little girl.
Yeah, but where is he now? What happened after that?
He's still in Rogersville.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he moved.
Too hard, but I am curious.
When did he move?
I don't know when, but I thought that I had heard that he had moved, that he was no longer in Tennessee after he got married. I had heard that he moved.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
I didn't hear that, but more than likely he moved back to Texas. He supposedly still had property in Texas.
I mean, Don and Miss Lane, Mr. Wells and Mr. Lane, they switched churches, but they didn't switch religions. Mr. Dotson switched religions. He took a vow. He took oaths. Kind of glazed over him, but he took them.
But he had just switched from being a Baptist to the SDA church.
Right. That's switching religions. That's not just switching churches. That's switching religions. And then he switched back. He took vows. He took oaths, and then he switched back. He was a minister of 3 churches for most of his life, married a Baptist woman in a Baptist church, and then he switched back. So I'm kind of curious about that. Why would you do that? He's also met the vice president of Egypt.
What is this man done it all? I mean, come on, he's a rescue worker, he's a darn pilot, he's
one of very few medic pilots in the country, the world even.
He's a funeral director. He's a preacher. He's a flute player. He plays the flute. I'm sorry, he just don't look that intelligent to me.
I'd like to address Miss Sylvia Brown's comment. What else about Marlena? I don't know very much else about Marlena. As I said, I didn't follow. Her name, to me, was kept out of the spotlight until very late. I do know just the other day, I seen a clip while I was investigating Mr. T.R. Ward and Mr. David Garrigan, the original donators of the $10,000 and $25,000. I had seen a clip of, I believe it was Ansley Daniels, doing an interview with Marlena. There was no audio, so I don't know what they were saying. It was about 3 seconds long, so I'm not sure, but she was interviewed. That's really all I know. I think she's probably a good person based on just why she was kept out of the spotlight. That's it.
And
That's all I know.
darling, I have to give my opinion on that. I think you're just really, don't get me wrong, don't take this the wrong way, Tiger, but I think you're really naive. I think you're so naive.
It's not the first time I've been told that. Don't worry.
Don't take it wrong.
I'll take it as wrong as I want.
David meet Tiger, Tiger meet, or David, shit. John meet David. John meet David. David, this is John.
John, I don't watch your show very often, but when I do, you are hilarious, my guy.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. What is your opinion on all of this?
I don't know, man. Y'all been into some rabbit holes I ain't been able to keep up.
It's
Just
more
keep
rabbit
digging.
holes than I've gone down.
Have you seen the court papers, John, where the Churchill Rescue is suing everybody?
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Who are they suing?
Who are they suing?
Everybody. Like,
Who's
Hang
everybody?
on. Give me 1 minute and I will give you a list of the people. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, I still
I
didn't
ain't on it,
investigate
am
that
I?
too deep.
What?
I ain't
No,
on it, am I?
No, you're not on there. No, you're not on there.
Thank God.
Unless you're one of the people that donated to the fund.
How are they suing the people that donated?
that don't make sense.
Okay, listen, this is the people. It says Churchill Rescue Squad Incorporated plaintiff versus Summerwells Reward Fund donors and interested parties, Fiona O'Connor and Quinana Carlock, and the Child Advocacy Center of the 3rd Judicial District. They're suing everybody.
For what, though? I don't get it.
Well, like I said, that one number 8, if you look at number 8, I'll send you a copy of that if I can figure out how to do it here in a little bit. If you
Well,
look
just
at
tell me, Nana.
I'm trying to. They're trying to say that the people donated the money to go towards supplies and stuff. And now they're getting mad because it was supposed to have been for the reward fund.
What?
Really?
Best I can get out of it. And Holly says that they're trying to do this so that because the Child Advocacy Center would actually have a reason to sue them because like possibly the money is not there, not all of it. And they're trying to put a stop to that so that nobody can sue them for not having the money.
Wow.
I wonder what they do with the money.
Well,
That's a big ass mess.
yeah. Because the research that State Tiger has done is there's like 21,000 that paid for the TAC system up there, and he's thinking that maybe that's where part of the money went.
Well, who did that? The rescue squad?
Tiger. Who bought the tax system? Was it the rescue squad or was it?
This is the District 3 commissioner.
Who?
So he'd probably be the one to ask about that.
So probably Hawkins County bought it.
Well, how did they have access to the money if the rescue squad had it?
Yeah.
How did they get their hands in the cookie jar?
Well, it's still alleged. I don't know, but it's still alleged. We don't know that's where it went, but it sort of adds up. Money that was owed out, money that went out, that kind of stuff, and what might be actually missing from the fund.
Yeah, but I still don't understand how money owed out would be coming out of the reward fund.
Because that's what they're saying, that the money was donated to buy supplies and tools and stuff that was needed to search for summer. It wasn't technically donated for a reward.
Is that the truth?
Honey, I don't know.
I think an interesting thing to keep in mind is there was actually two management agencies involved. There was the Hawkins County Emergency Management Agency, and apparently I don't know what happened. Maybe they couldn't do their job well enough, but then they had to request the help of the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, who did not actually, when I called them and spoke with Mr. Dan Fleemer, I think it was Fleener with a long E, he didn't actually explain why they were requested. They're not dispatched, requested.
Hello, Mercy.
Yeah, I don't get none of that.
Hello, Miss Brandy.
Hey. Ice cream in the mouth, sorry.
No, you're fine. But no, that was the whole reason we did the,
We just left DQ.
Dairy Queen.
Anyway, the reason I did the live was to actually discuss the lawsuit because was it General Jones came out with the court papers, and I used your little trick to snag them. By the way, thank you, John.
You figured it out?
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to save it, so I've just kept it open since I grabbed it.
That's good.
Well, we'll work on it again one day.
All right.
Then maybe you can teach me how to go live without my shit crashing and everything.
I don't know how to do that.
I sure as hell don't.
I think we had too much stuff on our computer, really.
Yeah. You know what I realized today?
What?
I had every video I've done since I bought my computer on my computer.
We're slowing it down.
Well, yeah.
For the last 4 months.
You didn't get rid of them, did you?
Hell yeah, I got rid of them.
Oh, John.
Nana, my computer was 98% full.
Oh, yeah.
Sweetheart, it's called a thumb drive for a reason.
Yeah.
You go buy a thumb drive and you download everything on a thumb drive. And that way, anybody that might use your content in the future and try to claim it as their own, you've got your backup copy and say, oh, no, right here's when I made that.
I still got them on the cloud.
Okay.
I just didn't want them on my computer.
Well, I have all mine on my computer too. I've got every video I've ever made.
Well, Nana, you need to get you a thumb drive.
Well, I do. I know this, but my computer's
What the hell's wrong with you?
My computer's not slowed down yet, so
I'm okay. So I'm just the idiot because it hasn't affected you yet, right?
Hey guys, we've got a bombs here.
Well, who's bombing you?
Nobody I want to be here.
Oh.
Get him out. Get him out of there.
Hurry,
Got it.
guys.
Damn, they in full strength. Y'all talking shit about Andrew. That's what happened to you.
Yeah.
I know it.
Sometimes.
I know.
I shouldn't say that. It wasn't him, but somebody does. Whenever we mention him.
Don't worry. If you guys want to bomb, you could save that one for my personal email.
But no, I mean, me and Holly both. Holly is having real bad storms. And,
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm feeling it today.
she's having bad storms in her area, so she had to drop off. But we thought that it would be interesting because we couldn't figure out why Churchill was suing everybody. And what I find is really weird is the law offices of May and Coop, as in like Tim Coop spelt the same, not the same people. But May and Coop are the law offices representing Churchill Rescue Squad.
You know, maybe it is like what you were saying. Maybe it's like, and you know, I don't know. A lot of that money was pledged too, so it may have never even made it there.
Oh well, no, that's been deducted. We're talking about the 38-something thousand that was left.
Then I still don't see how Churchill. Well, I get what you're saying, but that just don't make any damn sense. They should know what was for searching, and they should know what was for the damn reward. That's
Somebody
crazy.
mishandled the money or didn't organize it right. You know what I mean?
Something.
Yeah.
Well, something ain't right.
I think.
Well, no one said they didn't. That they didn't know what was for what.
Right. They didn't say they didn't know what was for what. They just used it any dang ways. If that's what happened, allegedly.
I think they're going to cover the butt. Probably.
Right. That's just theory and speculation on my part.
God, it seems like that shit got way more complicated than it had to, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about Jody Sue getting called into the sheriff's department today?
I don't know. I got a Jody Sue video coming out bright and early in the morning.
About her being called in?
No, that's something else I found.
Oh.
Probably for lying. That lie she said.
Yeah.
Probably getting questioned about
What did she say it was for? Has she said?
Not that I know of, no. She said she came out with a live last night saying that something about after the last phone call that she was fixing to make, that something big was going to happen today.
Oh, shit. I think she's the damn one they're talking about. When TBI was in the press conference talking about somebody fucking the case up, I'm sorry, Nana, messing the case up, it was Jody Sue who they're talking about. And I think she's still doing the shit.
Right, which in my opinion, if she's lying about it, all of it or any of it, she needs to be charged.
You're damn right.
Yep.
Amen.
Miss Nana, can I address somebody in chat quick?
Yeah, which one is it?
Miss well, I don't know, Miss IB girl.
Okay.
Speaking about Jackie Dobbs, I've spoken to Mr. Dobbs quite a bit, and he to me is a very good man. He is a Vietnam vet, you know, and my father was a Vietnam vet, and I honestly don't think that I don't think he had anything to do with it, and he has answered almost every single one of my questions, even if I got to press him a little bit, very honestly, and given evidence, basically.
And Jenn has spoken with Jackie Dobbs also, and she says the same exact thing.
Yep.
And I think 100%. Jackie Dobbs ain't no ninja.
He's not what? We lost you, John. What?
John.
Let me guess. It's storming in Virginia too.
Yeah, it's rolling through here. You can see them clouds.
What happened? My stuff's perfect.
It hasn't got to Ohio yet.
Well, you cut completely out.
I did?
We couldn't hear nothing.
You said Jackie Dobbs ain't something.
And that was it. That's all we heard.
Jackie Dobbs ain't no ninja. And he ain't stealing summer without nobody hearing it or nothing else.
He's 60-something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
67, I believe.
What's going on?
What do you mean what's going on? Sorry, guys. I had to answer a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was me again. I was like, hey, what is going on?
No, I just stopped talking. A while ago when I stepped away from the computer, Holly and Tiger kept talking, and, I didn't think about that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. You and I stepped away at the same time and didn't have to worry about it at all.
No, they
It's
kept
covered.
talking. So, John, seriously, you don't think that she might be going to jail?
I don't know, man. The shit she said, like you see my video, I even looked up the law. To me, it's full blown. Help me out. Anyway, she could be impeding investigation. I don't see how, like, all the shit she's done is right. There's got to be something there. And that shit the other day, Andy B, if I was him, I wouldn't be worried about making a YouTube channel and doing lives. I would be down at the courthouse suing her ass for defamation, or at least charging her or something.
Did you catch his live last night?
No, I didn't.
I seen it. And he came on there, and then it was nothing. I mean, complete silence. And the chat's going 90 miles an hour. And I'm thinking, oh, no, not another Jody Sue. And then he came on, and all you could hear is, like, the old duck hunting guns that you play Nintendo with? That's all you could hear in the background was boom, boom. And then you could hear, like, Atari sounds, like they're batting the ball back and forth. And then he comes on and he says, sorry, guys, I'm having trouble with this. Give me a few minutes so I can fix it. And then it ended. The whole dang thing ended. And I'm like, okay. Like,
was that all of it?
Yeah, like 3.5 minutes. And I'm like, what the crap? So I just forgot all about it. Well, evidently he came back on last night with backup, had Scott H on his channel and 2 other women. And it was more like he was being interrogated or interviewed by these 3 people on his own live show.
Oh, hell with that. He don't have no business on YouTube at all. Who wants to watch some felon that one thing is, she's talking all that shit saying he's done all that stuff. You got to think there's a chance maybe some of it could be true. Right?
Right.
I just can't see giving him all that fucking that attention. I'm sorry, God. Potty mouth.
I don't see a lot of these people getting the attention that they're getting.
Nana, he had almost 2,000 subscribers before he had a video.
I know. He had a 13 or 11 or 1,300 before the first thing was ever put on his channel. Except, no, wait, I take this back. Under his name, under his title of his channel, he did have his Cash App. It was on there.
No.
Yes, sir. Promise you. Put my hand on a Bible. His Cash App was under the name on his title page. Yes, sir.
I know. I seen 1,500 subscribers and there was not one video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no videos, no nothing. Just his Cash App, his name, and it was 11 or 1,300 subscribers.
I'm telling you, it wouldn't shock me to find out him and Jody Sue have teamed up and are just doing this for clicks and views.
You are not the first person to say that to me today, by the way. There was somebody else came out with that.
If this all comes out and they had something to do with this and they're sitting back on YouTube collecting money using Summer's name to do so, they should be made to pay back every damn dime that they've gotten from this.
I don't think they had shit to do with Summer. I think they're just sick asses taking advantage of the situation.
Getting the attention.
Summer and using her name for monetary gain.
Yes.
Alicia P says, John Davis, she thinks that they are in total cahoots.
Yeah, me too.
I think she meant in cahoots with Don and Candace.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I may be wrong.
I could be wrong.
Oh, Marie Kitchen. Honey, I'll give you all the clicks and the views that you want, honey. That don't mean none of us is going to make any money. Because we're not out here e-begging. That's the thing.
I tell you, man, I am so tempted to make me a list of the top 5 e-beggars in true crime. But I know everybody be pissed off at me, say I was starting drama.
Well, just don't allow the comments to be added to that video.
No. I'll pin that shit if somebody smart asses me. I ain't turning no comments off.
Okay, John, I was wrong. She did mean just Jody, Sue, and Andy were in cahoots.
Yeah, with each other scamming to make money off Summer. And
Now,
to me, it's even grosser because they actually knew Summer. You know, it ain't like some of these people that never even knew her. They was actually around her and stuff. So to me, that makes it even more of a backstabbing piece of shit thing to do.
Now, if you think about that, what Tiger said earlier about when he talked with Andy today, and Andy sounded concerned when he told him what was going on with Jody Sue, that makes that sound a little bit more suspicious.
That's just an opinion. I just think his voice broke. That's all. Like when he asked me why, I just think his voice broke a little bit. It kind of suggested concern to me. That's all.
Well, you can't be married to somebody for 26 odd years or whatever it was and have 2 kids without having some feelings for them, whether you despise them or not. That's still a feeling.
Absolutely.
So, however long they were together. Even if Coleslaw was standing beside him.
I'd like to address Miss Tina Marie Dace. She asked a very good question. Dace.
Yeah.
Where's the Attorney General in all of this? Mr. Dan Armstrong, I'd really like to talk to him. I've called him. He actually does not have a voicemail box set up, so you can't leave a message. He used to be 5 years ago the Attorney General of Greene County, actually, but my guess is, based on the video I was watching, he kind of got booed out of the county based on the way his opinion of agreeing with the state of Tennessee on the penalty of life in prison without the chance of parole. And now he's the Attorney General of Hawkins County, and he was actually involved in the 2017 opioid lawsuit. So where is he in all of that? I don't know, but I would really like to ask him where he stands on all of this.
Tina, Jesus, girl. Tina says, for all you that met Tina the last time she was on panel, says, so you might want to easy off them, but not want to, see them unalive.
I wouldn't want to see anybody hurt in any way, emotionally or physically.
No,
I just want answers.
Tina gave a class in how to take care of a cheating husband, and easy off oven cleaner was one of the lessons.
That shit
I
ain't
should
cool.
take your class.
Yeah. It was funny, too.
You planning on offing a husband, Tiger?
Absolutely not. But he is the one when the only time they ever brought him up in this case, he is the one that is required. Hawkins County Sheriff's Office has to call him and request him to request the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. And considering how fast the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations got on the scene, I'd say that's pretty incredible, because they were on the scene regardless of what anybody says. Not Miss Ansley Daniels, but I cannot remember her name, but she was actually for the other news channel, WADE Channel 5. she was on the scene on the 15th, and the TBI and the FBI were already there on the 15th.
I think her name is not Brianna. Bianca.
No,
Bianca's
not Bianca
Bianca.
Marai either. Not Bianca
Who was?
Marai either. Not the same news channel.
Connie Chung.
Connie Chung.
I just wanted to have a guess too. Everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, it was a lady who got there within the first couple hours, I guess, and she said that the FBI and the TBI were already on the scene. And
Jody.
according to the news articles, I guess so was TEMA, the TEMA. So they were all already there on the scene pretty quick. And considering Dan Armstrong has to call the TBI on the request of the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, that's 2 phone calls now that has to be made. One from the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office to him, and then from him to the TBI.
And they were there. Didn't Leslie Earhart say they were there like 7:30 that night? So that would have had to have been pretty darn quick. 911 was supposedly called at 6:30. TBI was on the scene at 7:30.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's too fast.
Yeah, it
Too
is.
fast, exactly. Especially considering he doesn't have a voicemail.
What?
So
Jen?
if you couldn't get through to Mr. Armstrong, you'd have to, like, at his office number that I called, you would have to have either his personal cell phone number, know where he's at, or know somebody that can get in touch with him, because you can't leave a message. So for the TBI to actually get on the scene that fast is incredible. And the FBI has been on the scene since the 15th. And I can find a link for that on YouTube from WADE channel 5, I want to say, that says that they were there on the 15th already. And they've pretty much been keeping their name out of it right up until the last press conference where Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said, and he was reading it straight off a piece of paper, the FBI has been working with us every step of the way.
He kills me with his Ronnie Lawson impersonation. And you guys want to know why I have this man on panel here? He's my own personal YouTube encyclopedia.
I'm just a rodent. I just keep digging and digging and digging.
With a
Dig
hell of a
myself right
memory,
into a hole I
evidently.
can't get out of. Cindy White says WCYB Channel 5. Thank you. That may have been it.
He's been in prison for a
somewhere.
long time. He's not who you think he is. Who? This man right here?
Oh, I know all about Mr. Riches. Trust me.
No, I think they're talking about you. Or is it Mr. JLR? I don't like saying the name JLR when John Davis is on panel.
You gotta keep bringing that shit up, Nana.
I didn't
Hey.
bring nothing up.
At least it was Nana this time, not me.
I didn't call him that this time. I said I don't like saying it because I don't want to do that.
And I'd actually like to address him personally if he's listening to this channel or ever hears this video. Mr. Riches, you did say that you spent 10 years in federal lockup, 27 months in complete isolation in that 10 years, I would suppose. And the reason why is very interesting. Now, you have $8 million that you got from 2 celebrities I shall not name because of their history, but celebrities
Name
we've all
them,
heard
dude.
of. And
Wait a minute,
You
Tiger.
did-
What, John?
Name that shit.
Name them, Tiger.
Perez Hilton, not Paris Hilton,
Yeah, I know who
Perez
you're
Hilton, and Britney Spears. You
No
did get
shit.
$8 million, $4 million apiece from both of them. And
He's going to
I
get
find
your
that
ass.
to be very suspicious considering they're both fully lawyered up to the T. So there should have been no settling out of court based on the charges that you were hitting them with, basically. And that is not why you spent 10 years in federal lockup. And you did say you were going to speak about it in one of your videos a little bit back when you were walking through the store shopping, that you were going to open up about it a little bit more. Well, I have not heard a single peep out of your mouth, not one, not a single peep out of your mouth about it since then. And trust me, I can find all of this info right on your wiki page, bro. You spent 10 years in federal lockup for saying that you were Adam Lanza's uncle, correct? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So I would really like you to answer some of my questions.
And JLR, you're more than welcome to come up on my panel and answer whatever questions.
And I am very civil. I am very respectful. I give as much criticism as I do consideration. I will address you by Mr. Riches because that is your last name. And for the longest time, I called you Mr. Richards, and I'm so sorry about that.
It's probably more because, JLR, you are what? Twice this boy's age? You're old, so that's probably why he's calling you Mr.
Well, any of this information, if anybody is looking for it, can be found in a quick Google search.
Yep.
Yep.
That's most of the information I give. And also, don't think I'm attacking you, dog. Like, I think you're actually a genius. I really do. I think you're like some sort of savant.
Well, come on.
Wow.
The Guinness Book of World Records put him in their book for being the person to sue the most people. And he turns around and sued them for doing it.
What was it, like 2,600 lawsuits?
Yes.
And then, so that means you have to go request the paperwork, fill it out, then hand it in, and then you did not show up for almost any of those 2,600. I believe that was the number. And you only went through with like, what, 140 something? And out of that, you only successfully sued maybe 3 times, 2 of them being highly suspicious, in my opinion, which netted you $8 million, $4 million apiece between the 2. And now you're spending that money driving state to state to state to state to do this. So yeah, I would really like to talk to you, bro.
IB girl, I hope that is a misspelling.
Wow.
Can we please get rid of this comment?
I think she probably meant to put a cash symbol behind it.
Well, I think what she means is there's more people selling out over the summer case than, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't think she means it as bad as as everybody thinks. I kind of get what she's saying. I think she was talking about the people we were talking about, probably.
Probably. I just, the connection, the word connection. That's why I said get rid of the comment.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
That is a good question,
I don't think.
Marie. Why would he only offer $200 a piece? You have a lot of money, bro. A lot.
What? Wait a minute. What? Back up. What did you just say?
Miss Tina Marie Dace asked, if he has that much money, why would he only be offering $200 a piece for each interview? Yeah, he's done that with Don. He's done that with Allie. He's done that. He's tried it with Jackie Dobbs. Bro, you got a lot of money. You should be making those poor people in a very, very poor county, which you know is a poor county, a lot more money than that. Oh, you also did it with that newest guy, whoever led you through the woods.
Oh, yeah, Brandon. Up on Light Hollow Road. I still say I wouldn't have trusted nobody taking me up in the middle of the woods that's got a gun in my hand or a gun in their hand.
Nana,
Oh, it
you're
was a
gonna
nice fight. I think I'd have gone.
Nana, you're gonna have to go when you're doing your titles. You're gonna have to go back to putting other topics in there as well.
Why am I
Because
complaining?
yeah, Amisa M says I had to leave for a bit. Now I'm back. Seems the topic has changed considerably. I'm out.
Okay.
Well, kind of off topic, but Miss
No.
Nana, do you know if there's any connection between the Holly Bobo case and Jeff Bobo?
That's his sister.
Say
That was
again?
his sister. His sister.
That was his sister?
Yes, and from what I understand, allegedly, okay, I do not know this for a fact, but allegedly, TBI really dropped the ball on that case. And I've heard that he transferred to the Rogersville Review on the Summerwells case,
Yes, he did.
not to follow the Summerwells case, but to see how bad TBI drops the ball on this one.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I fully suspected that, and that's why I asked. I think he's actually digging a bit deeper than that, even. Terry Dykes, who got kicked off the case, and I'm guessing pretty much got the entire TBI kicked off the case, and then I believe they got put back on for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, but I did watch all 8 days of the court hearings, and that was incredibly interesting to me, but I didn't actually know that he was the brother.
Yeah.
I was just asking. That's
from
kind of
what-
off topic, though.
From what I can understand was that, I don't know if YouTube had anything to do with the Miss Bobo's case or not, but there was tips coming in left and right to TBI, and just like with this, they're being filed in a drawer, all of them, and the one item that they needed allegedly to solve the case, the one piece of evidence, was filed in that drawer, and they didn't find it until a year later when a new guy came in and was looking, and he's like, "Oh, were y'all looking for this?" Basically is a short version of it. And that was the evidence they needed, and they had it for 1 year sitting in the drawer.
Miss Tina Marie, you don't ever have to apologize to me. It's perfectly fine. Misspellings are misspellings. I do it all the time.
I mean,
and Miss Nana,
that's
thank you so much for answering my question. That was very helpful. I couldn't find it myself.
well, like I said, that come secondhand to me. I didn't follow the case. I mean, I remember hearing about it, but I didn't follow it. But I'd heard from a pretty reliable person that that's what happened during the case.
Wow.
And then I heard from somebody else, I think it was, that's why he went to the Rogersville Review, was basically to follow the TBI and not Summer. Not saying that he don't care about Summer. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Right. And I don't know. I myself have my suspicions about that case, but about the Bobo case. But I hope they found justice. I hope he feels they found justice. I don't actually know. He will not answer any of my questions. I did not mean to be rude to him in any sort of way. I was just sending him articles that he had written off the Rogersville Review and trying to question him about it. I think I did probably ask at least one incorrect question by accident because I was pretty tired. But yeah, I very much enjoy reading his work.
What's Ryan Up Church got going on?
Oh, somebody in the comments said that Ryan Upchurch donated 50 grand of his own money. And
Yeah.
we were just making it clear that he did not donate the money. He pledged to donate the money.
Right.
And Remain Calm said we learned that with the Depp Heard case. Well, we kind of knew that before. There's a difference between pledge and donate, but most recently, yeah, that would have been with the Depp Heard case.
But the thing about it is I don't think that kind of pledge was meant as malice. I think that pledge was meant so that nobody in Hawkins County could squander away with the money.
Right.
Just like what's going on right now with this lawsuit.
Yeah, his pledge was genuine, no doubt that yes, if it happened, he would put up that money. But right now, I'm kind of happy he didn't bother. I'm happy
John?
he kept that in his bank right where it should be.
John, what do you got to say about this? Hello?
I
John?
think we lost him.
I think he went bye-bye.
Did we lose him?
I think so. Where Summer says, remember they was trying to get Candace involved with the Ryan Up Church. Ryan Up Church said no, but hell no, that he would stop her at the door from coming in his concert.
I'll be right back again, ladies and John.
I think it would have been funnier if he would have gotten up on the jumbo screen and just called her out right there in the middle of his concert rather than stopping her at the door.
Right, I agree. John, did we lose you?
I wasn't reading any poetry. He couldn't have fallen asleep on us.
Now he's gone. He dropped off.
Everybody dropped off tonight.
Does anybody know when Dawn's getting out of jail? No. The end of July is the last I heard. Dawn is going to do 1129, 6 months in jail. The rest in rehab. Once he is released from rehab, he goes back to jail, and then he is released. That's what they said, but now that ain't what the thing that we did. Was it live, Jen, or was it a video I did?
I think we talked about that in a live recently.
Oh, HCR would have put their hands all over that 50,000. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to ask a serious question. Is anybody else haunted by the picture of Summer the night before she disappeared? Which picture, sweetheart? That one of her and that other little girl? I don't know, Maria, if he's going to go back to 110. I'd say I still stick with he's going to want a cigarette, a drink, and then find Candace. I'd say are the first three things he's going to want to do.
He's going to need a bottle of R&R.
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were talking about, huh? I don't know if they are or not, sweetie.
Me personally, I think the majority of Summer's pictures bother me just because she just looks so distant. I mean, earlier pictures of her when she was, had the little chubby cheeks and the cute little baby when it looked like she was being taken care of. But the progression over the years, it just went downhill.
I agree, JPL.
Oh, I forgot something. Of course I forgot something.
Anyways, guys, it's getting about that time. We've been on here for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Thank goodness.
No, as far as I know, her trailer's still up there. If all goes well, we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? I said they were doing like Dawn and Candace when they pulled the stuff on Mary, dang it.
Okay, John Davis said he's sorry that his phone died. He didn't want to interrupt.
I was wondering about that. You could have interrupted. I got your little message saying it was your bedtime or you being put to bed.
Okay, Nana, will you do your good nights and whatnot? I'm going to jump off and tuck the critters in and get myself ready for bed.
Sweetie.
I will talk to you later.
Okay, good
All right,
night, Jen.
Good night. Love you.
Love
Have a
you.
good
Good night, John Davis. Okay, guys, like I said, we've been on here over 2 hours, so I'm going to call it a night. Tiger, I want to thank you so very much for coming up on panel and giving us your insight. And I would be greatly appreciative if one day you'll come back too.
Anytime you need, Miss Nana.
Thank you, sweetheart. And I do enjoy talking.
Just ask me. Say the word. You got it.
All
Have
right.
a good night, Miss Nana. I'm going to hop off too.
Okay. Bye, darling. Okay, guys. Good night, everybody. I love you all. Thank you for coming. Say your prayers, hug your kids, pet your parents, all that kind of stuff. No, seriously, show some sincere thank you to your parents. If you are parents yourself, you have just started to figure out what your parents went through. And we will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Good night, guys. Thanks, mods. Thanks, subs. Thanks, viewers.